Hello, player. Please identify yourself and your call sign.
Okay, cool. What's up, players? This is Cycle from Era 15. You guys know me as Jay sometimes. If you know who I am, that's who I am. So,
How'd you get your call sign?
how did I get my call sign? I got my call sign when I was in the Marine Corps. They followed me, after my career in the Marine Corps came to an end, to my other job, and then into the airsoft community, and now that's what it is. It's Cycle. And I got that because my uncle had told me when I first joined the Marine Corps to volunteer for everything. And when I first started deploying, I did volunteer for everything. They were just like, man, what's this Cycle dude? Like, he's always like for every single thing. And I had a gunny who took care of me. And I had a warrant officer who ended up, he was our staff NCOIC, and then he became a warrant officer right afterwards. For those of you guys that know what I'm talking about, but they took care of me really well on deployments to where it was like, hey, you know what, it's like we'll be the co-ops. And whenever they saw my name attached to an op, they would go ahead and sign me up, and you get to experience the prop. So
Preferred platform.
M4. I prefer the M4. I run every single platform that you can think of. MP5, USMG class, your ARP9s, your LMGs, your M27. For those people that don't like it as an SMG, your 249s. There's bolt action sniper rifle. I don't know. I kind of think I can't do a bolt action though because of I like taking on like the numbers, So if I have like 20 people, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, I'd rather be like, hey, not that I shoot full auto, but I'd rather have that instant response. It was like, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead. You're going back to respawn. I'm gonna let you live so we can see everybody else die. But there you go. So I prefer the M4 better.
Most memorable airsoft moment.
Wow, that's a lot of them. That's a lot of them. We didn't go over that earlier. But yeah, it would have to be like per genre, I guess. Like, is it here at the arena? Is it at the outdoor field? Is it between me and certain players? Or is it at Milsims? Is it between me and other op organizations? The list goes so wide. Our vendors, our dealers, our manufacturers. There's so many awesome, great moments that I have in airsoft, whether it's corporate or not. I think if I had to choose one in the past, or what's my favorite moment in general? That one, what's my favorite moment in general? My favorite moment in general would be the hunger. The hunger to, when you get shot, when you go back to respawn, and you hit that respawn, and you turn around and you're like, I'm coming, right? And you're like, ah! And then you execute, what you planned on doing, and if you have a chance to be able to be like, hey, this is the plan of action with, a 3-man squad, 4-man squad, 5-man, 10 people, and you're just like moving people around, and they're able to follow your direction, and they're able to complete the entire objective. That successfulness feeling is going to be, and even if you fail, it's kind of like, well, cool. Well, what do I learn? And how can I? And what's great about here is that you can actually do it in 5 more minutes. You can do it again. Just different game, and you're like, oh, it did work. It didn't work. So, yeah. Favorite moments. There's a lot. I mean, you got Ninja, you got Pyro, you got Cake. When I did the rental versus Polar Star, when we first opened up here at the arena, and I was like, man, it's not the platform as a shooter, and we did that. We did Raptor and myself, one-on-ones till like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, overnight, locked in that arena for hours, no breaks, just straight sweat, until we figured out, our counters to our counters to our counters, were so effective to where we're like, okay, we can't counter no more. Like you know, it's time to like call it quits. And then you come out to the front lobby, and then you're like looking at each other like, one more, and it's like one more. Let's go. You know, and there's just so many moments. It's hard to pick. It's hard to pick them. I mean, a Ninja, for instance. I mean, one set of stack of tires, being able to fight, you know, constantly, you know, in the middle of multiple gunfights going on in the arena, and you're just like, you know, you're swapping left to right, stuff that you normally never saw in any airsoft field or for the better much, you know, in any real steel shooting, you know, where you're constantly transitioning and you're going super low and you're like, oh, this guy popped up, let me shoot him real quick. Oh no, you're not going anywhere, and you try to close him off. Like, it's a long story. So that's for a different video.
Words of wisdom for new players.
Words of wisdom with new players. Show up humble. If you don't show up humble, you get your feelings hurt really quick here. I said it before, you know, you got players that show up with a chip on their shoulder, like, oh, I come from here, or, you know, I've done X amount of, you know, years as a real serial shooter, and then they get shown up by a 12-year-old or a 10-year-old, you know, and it's just a matter of more trigger time inside the arena, you know, and being mentored by different teams, you know, that come here. Or, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean me, or, you know, it could be Dom, it could be Ruben, it can be anybody that actually takes that time to mentor somebody here at Air 15, and to be able to watch that player grow is an awesome feeling. So for new players, I mean, just you gotta be humble, and you gotta be willing to learn. If you stop learning, you failed yourself and you failed your mentor. That's how I feel. And I'm a big student of martial arts, so and I feel that same way when it comes to airsoft. That you never, it's never one technique that's right. You know, you can take a little bit, and like I said earlier, you know, you can learn so much from a 10-year-old that showed up, and you know, he's moving a certain way, and you're like, well, let me counter that, so that way he doesn't see me, and then, you know, when I do pop out, you know, I surprise him, and then he'll turn around and put like ta ta ta, you know, and then you're not there, and he's like, what? You like blow his mind, and so you learn so much about yourself and your abilities and what you can do. So just be willing to learn. Alright guys, that's all we got for now. My name is Psycho, and you're watching No Peace Airsoft.